welcome to Squishy Vision. We're going to be very, very quick doing this because I've just realised that I'm running late in 7 minutes. I'm going to join Passion of a Nerd watching the next episode of Angel and their live watch thing. So, 5 minutes or less. Give my thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man spelled the wrong American way rather than the correct British way. This is the weird kind of new entry, technically in the MCU. Well, it's Marvel Studios, well, it's Marvel Animation. It was going to originally be the origin story of the 1999 Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland, but then they were like, well, actually, we're not going to commit to doing that for whatever reasons, and probably because we can't get Tom Holland to come voice the character. And for whatever reason, I've probably talked about it in the past, or haven't because I don't care. They've gone for what is kind of not that, but kind of still connected. So it's not explicitly said. I guess it's kind of implied that these. Whoops. It's kind of implied that this is a alternate variant of the Spider-Man who we see in 1999. The fact that we get some musical cues from the Marvel films, the fact that the sequence before Spider-Man meets Osborn is a shot-for-shot remake of the scene that when Parker meets Stark in Civil War. I think the Midtown. But that's kind of where the similarities extend. I guess this Peter is very Tom Holland coded, but to be fair, Tom Holland Peter Parker is also very good, like depiction of Peter Parker as the character as we know. So yeah, that's kind of where it's positioned, and it's actually kind of all right. I mean, the episodes are fairly short. The 2020, well, about half of that. Well, yeah, no, because Disney includes the time of the international voice credits, which isn't actually part of the episode, so it's usually about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It's fairly short episodes, but actually consistent with what we've got for other Marvel things, but still feels kind of short and snappy, but I think it serves, it feels kind of pacey, it feels like it's got momentum, we're not wasting time with anything, which is good, because we're not wasting time with a lot of cringe scenes. There is like kind of a cringe part in this where Peter's getting very kind of like weird about his crush, and some kind of like embarrassing secondhand stuff there, but not like too much of it, so that's fine. All the characters actually seem fairly okay. No one comes across as fairly obnoxious. I think what's different is that this Peter is portrayed as actually kind of typically school age Peter isn't like he's meant to, like it's meant to be kind of like a loser. It's kind of like the archetype of Peter Parker, and he's kind of initially framed that way, and he goes to school and ends up kind of being fairly popular without him really knowing kind of why. The person he has a crush on is actually his childhood friend, and she's pretty cool with him. There's the girl who he saves the life of, and she becomes his close friend in this narrative. He always has a best friend kind of aspect. The person who he's competing with the infections for the person he's got a crush on, actually ends up kind of liking him already, and they're kind of friends already, and that kind of dynamic is there. He wasn't really like that kind of antagonism. I'm sure that'll come along later on. I'm sure that's going to be some version that we're going to see eventually, but that's kind of an interesting kind of twist on the whole, like, well, school drama, high school character cartoon aspect of it. But that being said, there is one weird thing about one of his friends, and what, Nico, I think her name is. And well, not weird, very deliberate. She seems very kind of entitled to Peter's time. Like, so her best friend gets a very... okay, right. I know she is against him working at Osborn because, well, capitalism, and obviously for someone to be that powerful, they're going to have to exploit people. Hey, she's not wrong there. But having accepted that's what Peter's going to do, she doesn't seem to be quite... She's like, oh, but you're still going to come to this. You're still going to stay to watch this game, right? You're still going to... So either that's like her trying to like sabotage him, which is a bit insidious, like, you know, just be straight with him. But, you know, if that's a deliberate character thing, like, I'm not going to criticize it if they're actually trying to do some character work here. I'm just want to show what the episode's kind of framing in that respect. And then she gets annoyed, it's implied, that whole kind of like conflict thing. In typical kind of narrative, it's like, oh, this person didn't turn up, they didn't say why, they must not really care. And that kind of miscommunication is very common in the superhero trope. Except she knows exactly why he isn't there. It's because he's doing his internship, which she knows he went to. He never really explicitly said when he was going to get back. Did she just expect him to bail? Also, as much as, Nico is correct about capitalism being bad and stuff, Peter comes from a very poor family that's currently down in its dumps, and this is a paying internship job. You can't blame a worker for working, can you? Really? Like, there's no ethical consumption of capitalism. Anyway, weird take there. But other than that, the action sequences flow quite well. We still get that segment where technically Peter kills a person by throwing a brick into their face, and also chucking someone through a window who we have no reason to suggest has superpowers all the way out the window, across the street, into the building, across the road. Also someone into a wooden wall hard enough to cause the wall to break, which obviously would cause some degree of spinal trauma. That happens a lot. I don't think physics really works in this universe properly. Doctor Strange, I'm going very quick because I know I've got to be going in like a minute. Doctor Strange is a character in this. Unclear if he is this universe's Doctor Strange or a parallel universe Doctor Strange. Peter doesn't seem to recognize who he is. It's unclear actually kind of what the superhero kind of existence is. Stark exists and Captain America exists. Not clear where we go further than that. There are a lot of like kind of red herrings and bait and switches that are really like obviously gonna like are very obvious. But if this show is kind of targeted at a younger audience, then obviously they're not going to be as experienced spotting those. So I guess I give them some slack there. Yeah, no one comes across as annoying. No one, like I was worried from the trailer that we're going to lean too heavily on the kind of TikTok humor, TikTok kind of social media vertical video trends. Actually, that's the part we see in the trailer. That one section is pretty much it. It doesn't actually exist in like the rest of the it doesn't actually happen in like the other 2 episodes. So I think it's the case of actually literally a trailer giving us a emphasis. I like the opening title sequence. I like what that's kind of foreshadowing of who we're going to see appear. I like the fact that they use comic book, they reimagine comic book covers as the title cards. I really like that. I think everyone is generally nicely voice acted. There's some lines which are very kind of not well acted, where they're just kind of like saying things, but those are far and few between. Yeah, like I enjoyed watching the swinging sequences, which is a very big part of Spider-Man, so they did that well. Yeah, obviously everything that can happen in these 2 episodes, pretty obvious where what direction we're going with. This is kind of the extended intro into the series. I think we know what we're going to start next episode with Osborn being like, hey, it's cool, Spider-Man, I'll be your sponsor. And that entire episode is probably going to be him setting him up, and then Spider-Man using his new kind of sponsor powers. Maybe we go across the same, and I guess from there it's actually interesting. Do we repeat the same character beats and learning journeys that the Spider-Man in 1999 has to do, or do we do new ones? Anything else to pick out in this episode that stands out to me? No, and like I said, I need to bounce because I'm running late. So short and sweet, strong start. Nothing like mind blowing, but like none of the things which you would. I think. Look, if you weren't me and you were overly critical of things you were gonna see in this show, they don't happen yet, if they happen at all. So I think we are good on that end. Some weird comments from the voice actor about him being worried it was going to be woke, whatever that means, because superheroes are inherently progressive things anyway. There is a nice bit in the episode, which isn't like there isn't a huge amount. Actually, there's 2 nice bits, which I guess is the woke, but it's good, so it doesn't matter. Because all woke is good, but it's particularly good. And it's not like front in your face. It's actually done in a pretty like, we don't see enough of this. We should see more of this. We should see more of heroes being like, hey, this person I call is a thief. They're only a thief because they were starving. That's pretty valid reason to steal money. Maybe let them go. And the short bit where there's like a cop profiling one of the characters who's black, but it doesn't like go anywhere, but it's still highlighting the issue. I like those. Anyway, I'm gonna go get my house. I've got a YouTube live stream to watch. Goodbye.